What is up guys, Speed here, and today I'm going to be talking about a lot of weird combos. So in Dota, I think one of the reasons it's such a great game is strictly because of the options that you have. There are infinite combinations of heroes that you can run, infinite possibilities in this game. I mean, you know No Tail's famous quote, anything can work. And it's really true, so we're going to be going over a couple combos that really prove that point. Now, before I get into it, I just wanted to mention a couple singular heroes that I think have a lot of potential currently, that are maybe getting slightly overlooked. And yeah, I'm just gonna give my hot take. We're calling this Hot Take with Speed. Let's go.
This pro guide you're about to see is one of hundreds, just like it, over at gameleap.com. Gameleap is your #1 stop to become a specialist in your desired role fast. Check us out today with the discount link in the description below to unlock your hidden potential, but for now, let's hop into the video.
So the first hero that I think is very potent and underplayed right now is Bristleback. In pubs, I think this hero is an absolute monster. Start with 3 mangoes, spam your quills, especially when you hit level 3, and take goo at level 2 or even level 1. Goo is unbelievably underrated right now. I'm still seeing Bristlebacks skip it, even until level 9, and it actually makes me like this spell it's actually broken. It's base 20% slow, it reduces armor per stack, and it's 12 mana. So at level 3, don't have any points in Bristleback, and you actually shred people in lane. It's pretty unbelievable. Not only that, you can play him in the safe lane and mid too, so very flexible. Second is Pugna support. We saw OG pick this at TI, and now I've seen it in a few pubs now. One in particular was a game with a ton of high MMR players, or TZ Sumel, and even more. And SVG was playing Pugna support, put in a ton of work. I believe he was position 5. I think the hero's utility is just unbelievable. Life Drain, so much offensive and defensive capabilities. Nether Ward, you just throw it down. Nether Blast allows you to split push and push towers. And Decrep, it's like a Shadow Demon Disruption in certain games, right? In the correct situation, it's a 6-second save. It's an unbelievable spell. Next up is Pudge. I think this hero is a top tier offlaner right now. In pubs, if you understand the Rotten Flesh Heap build, where you just tank up and scale late, super good. Next up is CK. I think I've talked about this hero quite a lot, but I really think he's going to be an up-and-coming safe lane carry. Maybe he still has glaring weaknesses that hold him back in the pro scene, but in pubs, I think he's very good. Easy lane, scales well. And finally is Underlord Leritoz. Now, I think you can play Underlord in any of the core roles. I'm not kidding. I think he's a good safe laner, because if you throw down a Pit of Malice, you can then throw down a Firestorm. And typically what would end up happening if you don't have either of these items is that they can just walk out, right after the pit ends. But if you buy an Leritoz, you follow it up when the route is ending, and then it latches on once again, giving you full Firestorm damage and the ability to chunk people down with like the insane DPS that you can get on that hero through right clicks. So yeah, that's my hot take on a couple heroes, and now let's get into some creative and wacky combos that I've thought of and then I've heard from other people as well. So the first one is Sand King ZEUS. Now, there's nothing too crazy about this one in particular. You might think I'm saying it because of their simple burst potential, right? The Sand King buys fail, the ZEUS then zaps whoever he goes on, and he can one-shot them, which is fantastic. That is very good. And now to be clear, this is a ZEUS position 4 and a Sand King position 3. What makes this even more interesting, on top of the fact that you can basically one-shot anyone in the game, and with the ZEUS passive and Epicenter, you can actually just team wipe 2v5. Other than that, you have the ability to de-ward every sentry in lane. I'm not kidding. I actually think that's a big reason why it's pretty good. My friend told me about this, and yeah, it's like, if you can't sentry against Sand King, he's going to get farmed, like, period. And if that hero gets farmed, he has impact because of the Veil build, right? You just rush a Veil, and with Sandstorm, it's super hard to fight into. Unbelievably hard to fight into. And it synergizes very well with ZEUS. Give it a go. Next up, we have a combo that we saw at TI. Yes, this was a popular TI combo. One that we saw coming out from OG, actually, in the Grand Finals Game 5. Yes. Now, it did get nerfed recently, so I want to be clear. Be careful, because IO has gotten nerfed, but the combo is ABADDON IO, right? If you did see it in that game, you understand the power, because the ABADDON can heal the IO, and typically ABADDON would take damage, and that's the downside. But because the IO heals him, right, because the IO is getting healed and Tether heals, he takes no damage. So you're just chucking out heals on like a low cooldown. What is it, 4.5 seconds? It's a high number, and it completely makes up for the fact that IO has a generally weak laning stage, right? Especially with all the nerfs IO has gotten to the laning stage. And yeah, it just completely counteracts all of it. And the more important part to this combo that I think makes it like really hard to beat is that you can purge Spirit Vessels in mid-game teamfights, right? IO is often countered by this item, right? You counter all of its heals by simply buying a Spirit Vessel, and he can purge it with a shield. ABADDON on a very low cooldown can simply get rid of that. and any other slow that might just mess with the IO. It makes a lot of sense. And finally, the last thing to note about it is the overcharge numbers. So if you look at overcharge at level 1, it's right an 8-second duration and gives 50 attack speed, right? Really, really high number. 50 attack speed. That's a super high number, right, for the early game. And if you level your E, right, the Curse of Avernus on ABADDON, you get 50 attack speed with his amazing base attack time. It's gotten buffed and buffed, and as a result, you can easily silence people, get the attack speed buff, and shred your opponent. Has a lot of potential in the laning stage. Next up, we have WILLOW BLOODSEEKER. Now, not only do I think this is actually a pretty good lane, whether or not you put it in the off lane or the safe lane, it could even be separate, right? I think in general, the reason why I'm putting this here is its interesting capability just to solo kill people in team fights. It's very comical, similar to the TUSK Ags plus Bloodseeker Rupture, which you guys might have seen in the past, or even just Tiny with Rupture, where you are making people move during Rupture. That's kind of the premise of it. This one is pretty nuts, because especially if you're against a fast hero, let's say it's a Lycan, and you hit them with Willow's Sphere, right, her ultimate, he goes flying. Flying, I mean, the Lycan, like, he instantly bleeds out. It's crazy. It almost is, it's mean. But really, it works on any hero, so you can basically just Rupture Fear and they die. It's super, super strong. And not only that, I think WILLOW provides really nice utility for Bloodseeker in the early game, because Bloodseeker often can have this problem where he either lacks the ability to cancel TPs, or he lacks the ability just to stay on top of people, which might sound crazy because he has high movement speed. Yes, that's not the problem, but in the fact that he doesn't have like built-in BKB, it has no spin or like blink or anything like that. So WILLOW provides a ton of control and cancels TP with 3 different spells. So, you know, pretty useful in that regard. Next up, we have one that I also heard from a friend that I really found fascinating, and I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen maybe slightly more of it. You can even pick this as a lane, and that is TUSK WINDRANGER, right? You could have a WINDRANGER as the position 3, TUSK as the position 4, and that sounds very good to me, right? Just strictly that, the lane. You have the high harass from the WINDRANGER, the high attack range, and really good attack animation, plus tag team, and in the lane, that's just fantastic. Straight up there. But the funnier part about this combo is when WINDRANGER gets her ultimate, right? Once she has her focus fire, which amplifies her attack speed to a good bajillion, then you turn on tag team, you turn on WINDRANGER's ultimate, and usually, especially if she has no javelin or maelstrom or anything like that yet, she wouldn't do no damage. But with tag team, you proc every single time. It's quite insane. You just shred people, right? It could be a tanky hero, it could be a bristleback, and you're just gonna shred him, right? It has a lot of potential in the lane and the mid game, which makes me feel like it has some viability, right? Certain combos might be like, you know, it's too full committal. The combos often like are too cheesy. Like, let's say it's something like a Pudge Omni Knight. Something like that could work, but you have to be careful, because then you lack other aspects of the game, and you probably have a Omni Knight as a support, which isn't that good right now. However, TUSK would play in his natural role, and WINDRANGER has no problem playing in the off lane. Not only that, you could put her mid. Even if you put her 5, like, you still get the damage, so sounds good to me. I don't know. Next up is one that's actually extremely popular, or was extremely popular when Morphling was very strong. This one is not too outlandish, so I'm sure you've heard of it before, but that is Morphling and Earthshaker. Yes, why is this combo good? Why is it good? And that is strictly, when Morphling gets his Aghanim Scepter, he can now turn into teammates, right? It's simply just part of the Ags now. And as a result, he can steal the Earthshaker's Fissure, which is really good, but the more important part is he gets the Ags plus Enchant Totem, meaning you can be Michael Jordan on Morphling, and if you haven't seen it before, if you get the Enchant Totem damage and turn back into Morphling, you can deal around 1,000 damage with 1 auto attack. Yes, I'm not kidding. With 1 auto attack. Plus you have the mobility of the Earthshaker Enchant Totem, as well as, you know, as I mentioned before, Fissure. Having 2 Fissures is always good. If Earthshaker just was a Fissure, I think the hero would still have slight viability. So yeah, if you haven't seen that one before, there's a ton of pro games to kind of show it off, so check them out, look them up, and yeah, it's quite good. Next up, we have Oracle Void. Now, this is one where I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the best, but I just want to put it in here because it's pretty funny. So basically, the simple premise behind this is strictly the fact that you can nuke the Void with Oracle, right, because his E damages allies, right? It damages allies or opponents, but then heals them afterwards. So what you can do to Void is that you damage him, right? But then he time walks it off. Hell yeah. And yeah, I mean, frankly, I wish I could kind of say more. Like, Oracle's damage is actually really nice in Chrono, considering he can deal up to like 700 magical damage only at level 7, right? It's around there. So yeah, that's pretty good. Also, Void is a hero that really likes being saved. It's a hero that typically will be a first priority for enemy teams. Right? If you see a Void, you're going to want to jump him, especially pre-BKB, so he doesn't get that key chrono off. And as a result, having an Oracle makes a lot of sense. But in general, I just want to talk, say that you can nuke someone, you can nuke the Void, and then he can time walk it off. I just think it's funny, and yeah, hey, it's a lot of sustain. Next up, we have one that you definitely cannot lane together, so please don't try, or else you're a psychopath. In fact, if you send me a replay of it, I will probably mute you and block you. However, that is Brood and Dazzle. Why is this combo good? Hopefully you figured it out already, right? If you played Dota for even a little bit, I think you could think this one through. And that is because Shadow Wave does damage based on the units. Now, it does have a max amount of units, so no, you can't just insta-kill everyone in the game. No, that's not possible. However, it's still a ton, and not only that, you're reducing everyone's armor with bad juju, meaning that brood spiders are going to deal even more damage, and they already deal a ton. If the brood is level 20 and you reduce everyone's armor, they can get one shot. Not only that, then you Shadow Wave, right, which is great. And finally, to top that off, you have to understand that Brood is a hero with a lot of turn potential, right? Brood, similar to Void, has the ability to turn fights, meaning that if they get saved, even on low HP, they can turn it. So if Brood gets graved and has insatiable hunger up, he can lifesteal back to full, turning the fight. So yes, this combo has many different aspects of why it's good. The next one is what I like to call the giant strategy. Now, if you didn't know, BKB makes your hero model bigger. Now, there's one other thing that I know that also makes your hero model bigger, and that happens to be Bloodlust. So, if a Tiny is BKB'd and Bloodlusted, he gets massive as hell. I mean, you know for a fact that if a Tiny, you see him with a Bloodlust and a BKB, he's been at Planet Fitness all day. Because that guy, it takes up your whole screen. I played against it and I was just laughing. I mean, they were losing, but it was really fun. It was really funny play. Even do it in the demo lobby, he gets real thick. Yeah, but I mean, I guess there's not that much viability to the combo, but attack speed is pretty good on Tiny, so yeah. Next up, we have Viper and Underlord. Now, I mentioned how I think Underlord is good, and the reason why I think this combo is potentially comical is because you could run the Underlord in the off lane, and you could run the Viper in the mid lane, and then you buy 2 Aetoses, you put them in the root, you Aetos them once, you Aetos them twice, and they're just stuck in the root forever. And not only that, you can put down a Firestorm and another Toxin, and then another Toxin reduces the magical resistance that the enemy has, and as a result, it's just a pit of death, right? If you come even close, you just get melted, and I mean, that's kind of it. Frankly, I think if you're going to run something like this, you could pick it with like the Pugna support as well. Imagine if you decrep them too. That would be pretty insane. It would be pretty insane. You just straight up shred anyone if they come even relatively close, and there's very little they can do about it unless they have like an Oracle, which actually would completely counter this strategy, so be careful about something like that. But in general, these are two very tanky heroes in Dota, meaning that if you have any sort of push capability or even more sustain with them, you could really just run it down lanes and end the game very early. Or, funny enough, these heroes scale quite well anyway. Like Underlord and Viper scale pretty scarily well. Their talents really enable them to do that. Underlord has a 70 attack speed talent, and Viper has a ton of right-click talents that have gotten buffed due to the fact that I think Icestrog really likes Viper right-click. And so yeah, maybe give this one a go. And finally, yes, I'm repeating Dazzle for the last one. Okay, kill me, alright? I'm lazy. But this combo is Dazzle TERRORBLADE. Now, why is it good? You might be like, well, Speed. It's just because you can grave him, and then he could sunder. But it's more than that, like, I mean, it is. It is. And let me explain before you hate on me, alright? So basically, the main premise behind this is that in the laning stage, you can poison touch the enemy, and then Reflection refreshes it. Yeah, that's it. That's all it's good for. No, but in all seriousness, the Shadow Wave is actually good, very good with TB in lane, as the hero has a lack of sustain in lane after it's gotten multiple HP regen nerfs. So, having a Dazzle in lane is great, because you have a low HP pool, meaning that heals are even more effective, right? Even more effective. And as a result, this combo has a lot of viability, similar to the Brood one all throughout the game. You have the Grave save with a hero that has the ability to turn fights. You have a heal in lane. The heal bomb with illusions is quite good if it comes into play. And once again, minus armor with TERRORBLADE. Of course, that's going to be useful. But yeah, the reflection combo, I mean, is it good? Yes, it's incredible. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And yeah, I think I say that every video, but hopefully you do it this time. I would genuinely appreciate it. And peace.
Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at gameleap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys. 25%, and start your journey today.